sister here. My pronouns are she and her, and I am so glad that you are with us today. We will resume our regular service next Sunday, April the 26th, but today we have Nandi Das, and we will be doing a wonderful satsang with these beautiful people here. And Nandi Das consists of David Ault and Jay Ram, and we are so glad to have them. Yes? Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is your third one, yes? Yeah, so we are on track. We're on track. So I just have a few announcements, but before I get into those announcements, these wonderful individuals put this on every month, and it is free of charge. Please open up your hearts and your wallets to donate to them. Their QR code is behind me. If you have cash or check, you can leave money in the receptacles. If it is for Nandi Das, please put on there Nandi Das. If you're leaving a donation for SLCA, please put on there SLCA. Please open up your hearts to these wonderful individuals because they truly spiritually feed me, and I know that they spiritually feed you. Yes? All right. So, the first one is Foundations of Science of Mind and Spirit. This is the foundations of the Science of Mind philosophy. This particular class gives you all the spiritual principles and practices that we use in our wonderful philosophy. And it is facilitated by Reverend Avon Drummond. If you missed the first class, it's not too late. She's just moving into the second class. So, it is a love offering, and its value is $125. So we wanted to open it up to everyone because we truly believe in this philosophy. This philosophy talks about one spirit, one divine infinite substance that is back of all creation. And when you know who you are in it, things open up in your life. All right, and then on April the 26th, we have Treating Fear Through New Thought. Dr. Scheherazade Taylor will facilitate this particular class. It will be an after-service class. Again, totally love offering. And we all know there's so many things going on in the world today, so many things that evoke fear in the hearts and minds. Just this administration itself is enough to make people afraid. And besides all that, we have wars and rumors of wars. So how do we deal with that? New Thought has the answer. Science of Mind has the answer to help move you through all of that. And then one of our former practitioners and members of the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, as well as the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, made her transition. And we're going to have a celebration of life potluck on May the 3rd at 4:15. If you know Lizanne Moore, please come and participate in this. She was truly a wonderful light in the world, and we loved her dearly. And so let us praise her up on her transition to her greater yet to be. All right, thank you for listening. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Reverend Jean. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. And we're going to start with a little quiet meditative sing-along. And it comes from a beautiful teaching by one of our inspirations, Ram Dass. But before we do that, you want to wake up the world and the spirits of the world? So here's one of the ways we do that because, hey, they do it in India, and we love this. And it wakes me up when we do it in India, so I think it'll wake all of us up. Take a deep, collective breath with me. There's a beautiful phrase called secondary rediscovery, and it means looking at the things that we do over and over again and seeing if we can tap into a place where we are rediscovering that thing for the first time. How many times have we sat in community like this? How many times have we been asked to breathe deeply? And what would make this moment be rooted in the now? And isn't that a beautiful thing that is afforded us continuously, is to take everything that has become so commonplace in our world and bring an awareness of the moment into that. What I see that meaning is that we allow anything, the pictures in our mind, the perceptions in our mind, to just begin to be softened a little bit so that we can practice allowing ourselves to receive the gift that is so uniquely eager to land itself into the heart and the beginner's mind of each of us here. So let's welcome it fully. And we're going to start off by singing a little song that's inspired by the teachings of Ram Dass.
Everywhere I look, I see what I'm looking for. Everywhere I look, I see. If the only thing is God that I'm looking for, then God is what I see. Will you try that with me? Ready? Everywhere I look, I see what I'm looking for. Everywhere I look, I see. If the only thing is God that I'm looking for, then God is what I see.
You have it. Join me one more time. Here we go.
Everywhere I look, I see what I'm looking for. Everywhere I look, I see. If the only thing is God that I'm looking for, then God is what I see.
Look how beautifully we can sing peace.
Everywhere I look, I see what I'm looking for. Everywhere I look, I see. If the only thing is peace that I'm looking for, then peace is what I see.
How about a little love?
Everywhere I look, I see what I'm looking for. Everywhere I look, I see. If the only thing is love that I'm looking for, then love is what I see.
B section.
I see the one. Everywhere I look, I see the one. Everywhere I look, I see what I'm looking for. Everywhere I look, I see God. If the only thing is God that I'm looking for, then God is what I see.
And again, I want you to take some deep, deep breaths as we move into our intentional centering, reflecting on the words, everywhere I look, the lens of my perception paints my experience. And the more that we begin to be willing to experiment with that, to consider that, we can really begin to taste what peace is, what freedom is, and the fact that it all begins with what we are primed and committed to see, even in its apparent absence. Even in the apparent absence of peace, there is peace. How then can I become an instrument that continues to pierce and be in the presence of that absence until all of the veils are dissolved? And I can see the union, I can see the creative intelligence, I can see the infinite in its divine design, even in the single plane that we call being human, and the madness of that. That is the mission of not only understanding the spiritual principles that we all continue to delve into, but it is to become saturated by them. Saturated by them. So that no matter where we are, no matter what the outer circumstance, no matter how loud or noisy the world of effect continues to be, the goal is not to fix it at the level of effect, but to be the one who is committed to seeing all that is the divine, even in its apparent absence. And so everywhere I look, I see what I'm looking for. I see what I have primed myself. Have I saturated myself into that which I have tasted to be the one? And if not, how can I continue? And so we do not wait on the world to change. We allow that change to begin to take place inside of us. In the seeming mundane, in the seeming heightened conflict, in the long list of fears, knowing that if the only thing is God that I'm looking for, then the reciprocity and the evidence will begin to appear. So why don't we try this together for today? In the short time that we are here, what if we are all in one big harmonious agreement that the only thing that we are looking for is God? And then God is what we will see. Let's sing it again.
Everywhere I look, I see what I'm looking for. Everywhere I look, I see. If the only thing is God that I'm looking for, then God
Let's sing it as a choir in the world. Here we go.
Everywhere I look, I see what I'm looking for. Everywhere I look, I see. If the only thing is God that I'm looking for, then God is what I see.
And a prayer for peace. Make it a prayer.
Everywhere I look, I see what I'm looking for. Everywhere I look, I see
Peace.
If the only thing is peace that I'm looking for, then peace is what I see. Then peace is what I see. Then peace is what I see.
Welcome again. That was beautiful, David. Thank you. So we always start our meetups with a Hanuman Chalisa, and this is a 40-verse prayer to Hanuman, who is the monkey god. And Hanuman is the great devotee of Ram, Ram meaning God or the one or love. And his only purpose on life is to serve Ram. And you can read a little bit about that. And if you want the words, you can click on that QR code with your phone. But I would encourage you to just maybe be in the meditation of it. And we're going to do a little bit something different today. I'm super excited. So the band came up with a kind of background Ram Sita Ram that you guys can, who do not know the Hanuman Chalisa, can sing as your meditation. And I know that there's a lot of people here who can and do know the Hanuman Chalisa and sing it regularly.
Where are you? Where's
I know
where's
that there's
the
some in
Chalisa
the
choir?
back. And I know, So sing with gusto so we can hear you, especially this time because I'm really hoping I don't mess it up with the all the stuff going on. So I'll also say that we're going to do a lot of chanting today, and if you haven't been a part of one of these meetups in the past, then this may be your first experience chanting, or maybe it's not. But the idea for this devotional singing is really it's a whole body yoga. So we're using our voices to connect with the divine, and you can think of that however you think of that, the great knowing within your own being. I like to think about Hanuman and Maharaji, Ram Das's guru, and Ram Das because that connects me to love. And so when I'm chanting, I am focusing on using my voice. It doesn't matter how you sound. It's really about using your voice to quiet the mind. And so then often this Hanuman Chalisa, we'll just sing together. But a lot of the chanting we do will be call and response. And so when you are singing, sing, and when you're listening, or when the person is calling, try to listen as closely as you can. And that keeps the mind focused. And then you'll realize that you've gone off and you're thinking about what you're going to do later. Just bring the focus gently back to the mantra. Okay, so anything else to start? Yes?
I was just going to say, I read that mantras, just like prayers, can you imagine how many times these mantras have been sung? And so when you sing them, they've developed a sort of muscle in terms of a connection to the one who actually wrote the mantra to begin with, the one who was steeped in the saturation of the mantra. And so all of the mantras that we share with you today, you can think of them as sort of living in the legacy of that vibration, just like the walls of a cathedral or any place that's holy. It contains every sentient being that has ever sung them before or prayed before. And sometimes maybe that's the thing that we're here to receive for ourselves, and allow yourself to feel that.
Okay, beautiful. It starts with the invocation. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nijamana Mukuru Sudari Varanon Raghubara Bimala Jasu Jodaya Kopalachari Buddhihina Tanu Jani Ke Sumeron Pavana Kumara Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohin Adahu Kalesa Bikara Siyavada Rama Chandra Padajay Sharanam Jaya Hanumana Gana Guna Saga Jaya Katisha Tiyuloka Ujaga Rama Duta Tulita Baladama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanam Mahavira Bikram Bajrangi Kumatini Vara Sumati Kesangi Kanchana Varana Viraja Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Hatha Paja Ora Dwaja Viraje Kande Muja Janeo Saje Shankara Suhana Kesare Nandan Teja Pratapa Mahajagabandan Vidyavana Guziyati Chatu Ramakaja Kari Beko Atu Prabhu Charitra Suni Beko Rasya Rama Lakana Sita Manapasya Sukshma Rupa Dari Siya Hindikawa Vikata Rupa Dari Lanka Jarawa Bhima Rupa Dari Asura Sundari Ramachandra Gite Kaja Sundari Sajivana Lakana Jiaye Shri Raghuvira Harashi Oralahe Raghupati Kini Bahota Marai Tuma Mama Priya Bharatai Samabai Sahasavadana Tumaro Jasagawan Asakaya Shri Pati Kanta Lagawan Sanaka Dika Brahma Dimonisa Narada Sharada Savita Ahisa Yamakupera Diga Pala Jahante Kabiko Bita Kahe Sake Kahante Tuma Upakara Sugri Valentina Rama Milaya Raja Padadina Tumaro Mantra Vivishana Mana Lankeshwara Payasata Jagajana Yuga Sahasra Jojana Paratanu Niyota Madura Palajana Prabhu Mudrika Nilemuka Mahi Jalavi Langi Gaya Chirajanani Durga Makacha Jakata Kejete Suva Anugrah Tumarete Rama Duare Tumarakaware Altanaga Binu Pesare Sabasukalahe Tumare Sharana Tumarak Shakaka Kodara Abunate Jatsamaro Ape Tino Loka Hankate Kate Utapasaja Nikatana Hinawe Mahani Jabana Sunawe Nasiroga Hari Sabatira Japatani Rantana Hanumatavira Sankatatena Numa Naturawe Managrama bhajan jana jolao sab pararama tasvi raja tina ke kaja sakala tu masaja ora madora ta joko ilawe so amita jiwana palapa Lord, Yuga Pada Saba Tumara, Aya Pada Siva Jagata Ujiyara, Sadhu Santa Ke Tumarakawari, Asavani Kandana Rama Tulari, Ashta Sivi no Nidike Tata, Asabada Tina Janaki Mata, Rama Rasayana Tumare Kasa, Sadara Raghupati Ke Dasa, Tumare Bhajana Rama Kiko Kawa, Janama Janama Ke Duka Visarara, Antakala Raghupada Kula Jahi, Jahan Jan Mahari Bhattakavani, Ora Devata Chittana Dharani, Hanumata Se Sarva Sukha Karani, Sankata Kate Vite Sabatira, Josumire Hanumata Balavira, Jai 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 Hanumana Gosai, Krita Kalaho Guru Deva Siddhi, Josate Para Pata Karakoi, Chitani Bandi Mahasukavo, Joya Hari Hanumana Chalisa, Ora Siti Saki Gorisa, Tulsi Dasa Sada Hari Joya, Ki Jai Natar Daya Mahana, Adanatanaya Sankata Harana, Mangala Murati Rupa, Rama Lakana Sita Sita, Hridayanda Sarasura Bhuvasiya, Vada Ramachandra Kada Jai Sharan. Mangala Murati, Marutanandana, Sakala Amangala, Mulan and Kandana. Remove all that is inauspicious from me by its root. Remove from me all that is inauspicious by its root. And then Sri Ram Jai Ram. Mangala Murati Marutanandana Sakala Amangala Mulani Kandan Mangala Murati Marutanandan Sakala Amangala Mulani Kandan Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Bolo Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri 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 Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri 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 Bhavanim Karoli Santa Maharaj Ki Jai.
This next mantra that we're going to do is connecting with the aspect of Divine Mother as the protector, called Durga. So Durga is over on my left on the top of the altar there, riding on the lion. I was actually thinking just now about how I purchased this particular Murti back in for an event that we did in honor of Durga on New Year's Eve of 2016, because I was feeling like we were all going to need some strength and some protection from that point. And it felt, you know, we did a whole puja and the whole thing to kind of start the whole thing off. And it still feels just as relevant today. So I think this is timely, and it's just a calling on Durga to give us strength and courage and the confidence to meet all of the challenges that come our way, because she knows there's plenty. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Musical chairs.
Yeah.
Is anyone else still feeling the vibrations of that chant? Nod your head yes or shake your head no. Let us see your response. Yes. Let's continue deepening those sacred sound vibrations together. One thing I want to share before we dive into this chant, known as Baba Hanuman, it's just that you don't need to know all of the stories to be able to experience the effects of these mantras. When I was first introduced to mantra back in 2019, 2020, I had not sang before then. I didn't know what they were, these mantras. I had a classical music background, very formal education in music, got really burnt out, didn't really listen or play a lot of music for about 7 years. But then 2019, 2020 came, and that was a spiritual awakening for many of us, and it was for me. And the way I felt at this song circle, where I started to really hear these mantras like Sita Ram or Hare Krishna, if you know that one, is I felt this bliss that nothing else in my life was going to provide for me. And I didn't know why. It was very mysterious, the pull I felt to this style of music. And then I began discovering more and more about what they mean and the stories and everything. But the love affair began with the feeling and the presence and the gift that was present in each sacred syllable of the chant. And as I've been sharing chant with these amazing musicians and other amazing musicians, hosting events and retreats of this nature, helping other people reclaim their voices through this medium, it's been really important for me to realize that this is the beginning and the end. It's that feeling. So never forget that. No matter how deep you go with it on your journey, always come back to how it makes you feel.
Jai Sri Ram, Jai
heart.
Thank you, Radha.
Thank you, everyone, for chanting with us.
All right. So now we are going to listen to a Ram Dass lecture. And David, I don't know if you wanted to say a few words about it before we start.
How many of you are familiar with the term relative reality? Because we're living it right now. The beautiful thing I appreciate so much about Ram Dass is that when he talks about the relative reality, he's not dismissing it. Do you understand? So the human experience is real, correct? And it is relatively real. So it isn't about turning our posture or our mind away from all of the suffering that takes place, but it's recognizing that what is being required of us is the ability to hold two things at once: the relative reality, and how will you and I navigate in that world, hopefully more and more strengthened in the realm of the absolute or the one. And that is the practice. And he begins to talk about that at the beginning of this piece.
So we come together to say to each other the old stories, to say over and over again what we know to be true, understanding that the first truth we know is that truth is a lie, or that reality is relative. I'll tell you, I've been, since 1961, when I first took mushrooms, under the kind guidance of Tim Leary, I have been, my whole life has been turned around, and I have been pursuing some path. It appears like a path, I experience it as a path, of transformation of consciousness, of awareness, of something, of who I am. Because I saw in that first experience, I wasn't who I thought I was. I wasn't who everybody else thought I was. I wasn't who everybody else, I wasn't even one of the people everybody else thought they were. See, because when I was born, I, like you, went into somebody training. See, you were trained to become somebody. So you have a name, you have an identity. Oh, Doris, she's the one who. You get to develop a role. You go into somebody training, and you go into somebody training because you are surrounded by trainers, all of whom think they are somebody. Your parents definitely thought they were real. Didn't they? Mine did. For the most part, they thought they were real. And they trained me to think I was real. And I was galumphing along being real until the mushrooms. And at the moment of the mushrooms, I saw that I was only relatively real. That who I thought I was only relatively real, and who I turned out to be was much more interesting than who I had thought I was, which was an incredible surprise, since I thought I was going to spend my life being who I thought I was. Is this too weird, or where I'm playing, let's see. So once I saw that I wasn't who I thought I was, and who I was much better, but I couldn't stay there. I kept coming back into who I thought I was. So I started to look around for how to get into who I really am and stay here. That turned out to be the game. I knew how to get high by all kinds of means, but I didn't know how not to come down. And come down meant come back into my acculturation. Come back into my acculturated mind. Come back into my conceptual map of reality that was a set of, who knows, electrical, chemical, whatever, habits of thought or whatever, which I will call my ego, for want of a better term. So I would override my ego through spiritual practices, and I would go into a plane of awareness where I was still a separate entity, but I was somehow, it was like coming up out of the smog before the Santa Ana winds. You know, it's like you go into a plane and you go up and suddenly there's sun again. You'd forgotten. And that's what it felt like, coming back into sunlight. And I tried all these methods, and I could get in, but I'd keep drifting back down. No matter how long I tried to stay up there, I would re-enter. I seemed to have karma hanging around that required some attention about my incarnation. So at some point in that process, I began to see my predicament was that I was trying to get high rather than trying to become free. And that high had a polarity in it of low, and that by holding onto the high, I was in effect pushing away the low. That is, I was pushing away the psychophysical identity that I was born into and that I had thought I was all that time. It's as if once I escaped from the prison cell of my own mind, I didn't want to go back into the cell at all, and I got an aversion to that cell. But by then, I was such a deep practitioner of Buddhism, in which I could understand that the cause of suffering has to do with the clinging of mind, and that the things you cling to are attractions or aversions. And the thing I was clinging to was an aversion of me as a human being. I was busy being holy. So at that point, I turned my efforts around, and I looked at life and realized that I had to embrace my humanity into my being to be free. Is this still, are you with me still, or is it, huh? Because I can simplify it and make it funnier. I think it's pretty funny anyway, but. The first thing I saw when I turned around and looked at life was another of the things that the Buddha had pointed out, but I just saw it without any help from my friends, was the immensity of the suffering. The immensity of the way in which forms were caught in some way that was causing suffering. And I realized that the suffering was so vast, because everywhere I looked, I mean, just to not take off your blinders so you see the underclass in this culture. That you don't hide from the incredible suffering that exists among our family while we galump through life, paying it a certain kind of service, but closing off because the suffering is unbearable. And so we defend, we protect, we do something. We do something to make it possible that we can live with the evening news. In emergency rooms in hospitals, it's like people develop professional warmth. That is, they're emotional in the service of their intellect. They go in and they're being kind to a patient and, oh, hello, dear, how are you? And it seems real. But in a way, they armor their hearts because the amount of suffering that they are surrounded with, they can't bear. Well, I would say to you that we're in this funny predicament, that the suffering that exists in the universe is immense. And that until you can be with that in some way or other inside your being and be open to it, you have no real freedom because you're busy avoiding something. And your ability to free anybody else is quite limited. And when you see that what you'd like to do is take away suffering, you realize that you've got to become an instrument for the removal of that suffering, and that means you have to be free of suffering. And how can you look at that vastness of children dying and people with illnesses and old people being deserted and kids on the street that are frightened and isolated, and how can you look at all that and not close your heart? Because the people in the hospital wards that become professionally warm, unfortunately, it gets so strong that they go home and it hurts their whole life because they can't become unprofessionally warm just at the turn of a martini. And I remembered a funny incident that in India, happened in India in 1971. I was with my guru up in the foothills of the Himalayas with a group of people, and I had a Volkswagen microvan, an old van, and we traveled around India in it. And at that time, there was a tremendous, horrible suffering going on in Bangladesh, which was not just maybe 200-300 miles away. And people were dying. It was a terrible scene, you may remember. And I wanted to go there and take my van as an ambulance. And I went to my guru, and I was very agitated, and I wanted his blessing to do this. And he didn't have a word to say about whether I should or I shouldn't. And in fact, for other reasons, I didn't. But what he saw was my agitation. And he said to me, "Ramdas, don't you see it's all perfect?" And when he said that, it was like an obscenity. How could you hear of children dying and with the same consciousness say it's all perfect? It's taken me years to work with whatever that is. And that's part of this process. Because the process is realizing that you and I exist on more than one plane of awareness simultaneously. And that on one plane, suffering stinks. And on another plane, suffering is grace. And the question is, can you balance those two things in your consciousness? Because to the extent you can, you are then capable at looking at suffering and bearing the unbearable. Because who it was that found the unbearable has changed. See, you have a choice when you find things unbearable. You can put up blinders so you don't see the things. In other words, deny the reality out there, or you can change what's in here. And I would say that we are awakening or being forced to awaken, or the conditions are ripe for awakening, or whatever. And that has to do with recognizing that you exist both as an actor, as a doer, as a body, as a personality, as a storyline. And there is a part of our awareness that is like this absolutely clear, present, ah.
would you be able to turn the house lights up just a little bit? And then it's time for you to ask questions or dialogue about what you heard. Anything. Anybody? Do we have anyone with a mic also? Here comes Shannon. All right, cool. All right.
Any
The
questions?
relative reality. Questions?
Yeah, thank you. My question is, it's one thing to observe the suffering of others, and it's another thing to undergo that suffering directly. I think I would find it hard to accept the perfection or the grace of it unless I could say that while I myself am suffering. If I say it watching others suffer, it does sound like an obscenity. Could you elaborate, please?
Jairam has a story about Ram Dass going to the dentist.
Oh, you want the dentist story? Well, I don't know how you're seeing it related here, but Ram Dass would go to the dentist and he would try to stay conscious without having any painkiller. So he would not do the Novocaine, and the idea would be, you know, like you're aware, and then all of a sudden the pain is so great, you shut down. What I think is interesting about that perception too is sometimes in my mind I can suffer more for somebody else than they are actually suffering. My brother passed in January, and it was super intense. We were in Cambodia. He had to be taken by ambulance about 5 hours away from where the rest of the group was. And there was so much going on, and he was intubated, and it was awful. And people, you know, my sisters and my family are like, oh my God, I'm just so worried about you. It was so beautiful. Like of course there was parts that were traumatizing, and it was hard, and it was, you know, it challenged me in a bunch of ways. But I don't think that I was suffering in the way that they were perceiving my suffering. And so, and in some ways, it's how do we know what another person is actually going through, and how my suffering in those moments were filled with grace. And I've seen people who have lost a child. That is to me like the pinnacle of what a bad thing that could happen to you is if you lost a young child. And we are friends with a few people who we're very close with, and they'll cry, and the pain is very deep, but they'll also say, I was so present. There were so many blessings. So if we are imagining what other people are going through, we don't really know.
I would also say it's difficult to answer that from this positioning where you're asking a question, and right now you're good, I believe. And right here, I'm sitting here, and I'm good, sort of. And so we can, bat back and forth hypotheticals. I think if you are able to be with that question in those moments when you yourself are finding that, and then ask the question. And I have found that in those personal moments, I've been looking a lot lately at presence and holding, and the way in which fight and flight is so deeply primal that we will react and move and fix and run and do all sorts of things to medicate ourselves from the immediacy of that moment. And sometimes, if there's a breath and a pause and a hold where we don't do that, where we stay in the unbearable, or that which is foreign, or that which is uncomfortable, or that which triggers whatever is grooming our individual and collective nervous systems, if you can stay in that for a moment, something really remarkable happens. And we begin to see that so much of our actions and our beliefs and our perceptions are solidified by the fight or flight that we have not only continued and observed in our own acculturation, but that we aren't even realizing that we're doing it. All of a sudden, we join committees that tell us this is the way to be. And sometimes to be able to go in the midst of that, even within ourselves, and to just hold there for a moment. There is, I will speak for myself, there have been the untangling of a lot of things that were connected to fight or flight that I had just taken for granted that were real. But because I stayed there, the danger that I presumed was there was actually not there. Does that help? Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much. I was at teaching with the Dalai Lama, and he referred at one point to some research that was done on ICU nurses and neonatal nurses who have a tremendous amount of secondary trauma that they take in. And he was saying that with compassion meditation, or Tonglen in Tibetan Buddhism, if you take in the suffering, that's one thing. But if you can learn to process it and release it, then the trauma, the secondary or other trauma, is much less. So, like Doctors Without Borders, the rates of suicide and depression are very high in these caring professions. So how to take in the suffering and be open to it, but then to process it and let it out. And my question, I guess, is each person's set point is somewhat different. Some people can go into very traumatic situations and process it pretty well. Other people are much more sensitive. So how do we find our own individual place of pushing the envelope but not too much so that we can open ourselves to the suffering but then let it go?
Don't you wish there was a manual that said this is how you do it? But it's like in Tonglen, I always practiced that in the heart was an altar of transfiguration, and that whatever it is that I was consuming, I wasn't to hold it, I was just to place it on the altar. And then I was not to figure out how to dissolve it, but to be present with it long enough so that it dissolved. And Ram Dass once said that he realized that being in the presence of Neem Karoli Baba or Maharaji, he had this awareness that what Neem Karoli Baba was doing, as many saints and sages had done, is he was eating the karma of those present, or eating the karma of the relative reality of our suffering. And then I began to think about Jesus the Christ on the cross, and Christianity is centered around that entire thing, where the crucifixion is eating the karma or consuming the duality or the separation that is constantly fostering the suffering. Alma the hugging saint, is that her name? Alma the hugging saint? People have said that when they hug her, it's as if she's eating the karma, consuming the karma of the one who's there. And those acts of compassion are not centered around these great figures that we sometimes deify. And it's not mythological. It is part of what Tonglen is. It's what the Ho'oponopono prayer is. It's bringing everything down to the same level and taking ownership in a way that consumes it but becomes the vehicle to let it transform. And it's practice. I'm really good on Tuesday afternoons. The rest of the week I struggle. Yeah. Who else?
This is a very simple question. What was the first mantra or mantras that you experienced that feeling of vibration on your journey?
Every time I hear a Shiva chant, I get goosebumps. But I want Ian to also answer, and Radha to answer, and Jairam and Shana, if they would all chime in and answer that beautiful question, and you'll see how varied it is.
I think for me, the first one was Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. That's what opened it up for me.
I want to share that I went to Ian's weekend workshop, and that introduced me to mantras in a pretty deep way that felt like the first time. Incredible teacher right here. Truly, it's an honor to sit by him. But I want to answer your question a little differently. The first mantra that really penetrated me, and that was the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and it's still the mantra that we chant the most, my husband and I, to this day.
I'll share later, just in a few minutes, the mantra, and it's in English, that turned me on to all of this. So we'll do that in just a little while.
And I'll share that initially, I had so much stuff around the Hare Krishna mantra. Some of us Westerners have
Airport stories.
yes, exactly. And so I had a lot built up around that, and then that ended up being the chant that really brought me into the most depth after letting some of that go. Yeah.
I went into a used CD store, and the guy handed me a Krishna Das CD. And I would play it with the kids on the way to school, in the carpool line. I had no idea what he was saying, but I loved the Om Namah Shivaya. And I loved the Hanuman Chalisa, too. I'd just be like, this is so cool. No idea.
How about you?
Yeah,
My first experience with the mantra was the Hare Krishna mantra here at the ISKCON Temple in Atlanta, which was amazing because as soon as I said it and really gave it my heart and allowed myself to receive what it was trying to give me, it brought me so much joy, and it changed the pathway. I'm on the same path, but it's something changed, which making me flow better in what I need to do and know what I need to know for myself and trust myself more and more every day.
And the mantras too, I think sometimes they become synonymous with being beautiful. And Jairam and I were in an ashram in Vrindavan, India, which was where Neem Karoli Baba, his death occurred, and they burned his body. So that's where he went into samadhi. And it's a major, major pilgrimage for all Maharaja devotees to go to Vrindavan. And we were not planning to go there, and something happened, and they said we must go there. So the women, the elder women, so I paint a picture of elder women. We're talking elder women with no beautiful vocal training like Radha Rose, who sing pretty much 24/7. In sometimes inside and sometimes outside of the Neem Karoli Baba temple in Vrindavan. And the singing is what you can imagine, just coarse and off-key, and they've got harmoniums and clanging and things that to a classically trained musician would leave them running for the hills. And I was like, ooh, because it was constant. So it's like they're singing at the top of their lungs. And you know those old 1970s sound systems, like, so that's echoing also throughout the entire temple. And these the Ma's, they're just singing and singing and singing. So I am strategically finding anywhere I can go to get away from that sound. While he's going, oh my God, I just went and sat with the Ma's. You gotta come. And I'm like, I'm good. And I would go into like this other little corner, and I would like be focusing, and I was like, what were they? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It was like on and on and on. And I'm just like, And so finally, on her last day, he finds me sequestered in this little room next to Maharaji's picture, and he's going, you gotta come. And I had no other place to hide because it wasn't really a big temple. So I went, and by this time, he's endeared himself to them, and they love him, and they included him in horsing around and playing tricks on all the local people coming in. Like they would go, and they had no authority to do that, but they were just like playing, and they would wink at him, and oh my God, there he was. He was just sitting with the Ma's, and I thought, oh my God, here's where we will live for the rest of our lives. And so I started, and the power that existed in the presence of those women, all of a sudden, everything just evaporated to the point where I was completely gone. And when I opened my eyes, this one beautiful worker, seva person that was always there at the temple, he was like right in front of me. He too, very toothless and old, and he's just smiling like, it took you long enough. And it was one of the most blissful mantra experiences of my life that had nothing to do with singing pretty. And it had everything to do with tapping into some inexplicable power and connection that would make them want to spend their entire lives sitting there and singing that every single day. Yeah. And here they are now. One more, and then we've got a beautiful, oh my God, I can't wait for you to hear Shonali. Oh, anybody else? Yes.
I want to honor my friend Naja. She spent her entire life in India, and she's made her transition now. But she says, has always encouraged me to travel to India. One of her gurus there was Sai Baba. And this has really touched me in a profound way. And I feel her presence here today. And I just want to say thank you. And how do you use your teaching in times of challenges? How do you use your practice to overcome worldly challenges?
I would say very quickly, can you hold two things? Can you hold two things? And not, so the phrase is neither grabbing at or pushing away. Neither grabbing at something that looks more comforting than what I'm feeling right now, and neither pushing anything away that feels unbearable. And when we can become accustomed to the equilibrium of holding the human experience as well as the divine, only then will we begin to tap into what it was that Jesus the Christ said when he said, be in the world, honor your relative reality, but be not of it. Don't forget what it is that is the absolute, which is the truth of your being. And that is an ongoing practice. Every single minute. Yeah. All right. Thank you. And we dim the lights now.
So we're going to do a meditation with the singing bowls. And this mantra seems like a lot, perhaps. But you may notice that there's one word that's repeated over and over again. That word is purna. Purna. In Sanskrit, purna means, it doesn't really translate into English very well, but it means full or complete or perfect. Much in the way that Ram Dass and in Ram Dass's story that Maharaji used the term perfect. Purna. It means that it's everything that it needs to be now, everything that it will ever need to be, everything it ever needed to be in the past, already exists in that fullness, in that completeness. And the mantra kind of says, this is complete, that is complete, this is perfect, that is perfect. If you add more perfectness or more completeness to that which is complete, it remains what it already was. If you take anything away from the perfectness, from the completeness, it remains what it always was. It's talking about your consciousness, which is already infinite. You are already perfect now, in this moment. You have always been complete. You always will be full. The purpose of the practice is just to get it, to realize it. So this is one of those mantras that you can sort of like, contemplate the meaning as I just said it, and it feels at first kind of like a Zen koan kind of a thing. But you can also say the sounds and see how that vibration changes your perspective. So let's begin. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate 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 Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
that mantra. And I chose to learn that mantra at the beach, at the ocean, because the translation, complete, I used also the words infinite. So if you take anything away from that which is infinite or add anything to that which is infinite, it remains infinite. Vast, like the ocean. And these mantras, in English, you'll see on the screen the Earth Mother medley I learned in my early 20s, New York City. It was also the Krishna Das awakening. So Krishna Das is starting to circulate, and then these were songs I learned from friends and circles, and this Purnamada, this vastness, this infiniteness, this perfection that we are. I was just blown away by that idea because I felt so absolutely not that. And so those mantras, these words became just a respite, like, what? Really? I could experience that connection? So let's sing this together to close our time, yeah? We're gonna kind of learn all three and then they'll overlap, and the one that really spoke to me first was Mother, I feel you under my feet. We'll do that secondly. Woof. So, and this is also honors, of course, Earth Day. Yesterday. All right. I'm sure you've encountered, I feel like you've probably encountered some of these before, so just sing it out. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. We must take care of her. That's the whole line, let's try it. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. Right? We must take care of her. Beautiful. Listen, we'll do it one more time like that. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. We must take care of her. All right, this part's coming back, don't worry. Let's learn the next part. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Mother, try it, sing it out. Feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Let's do it again. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Yes. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. We must take care of her.
Sing it.
We are one with the soul of the earth, Mother Earth. We are one with the soul of the earth, Mother Earth. Beautiful. We are one with the soul.
Some of you are going to stay right there. Some of you can go with me.
Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya.
Some of you are going to stay right there. Some of you might come with me.
The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. We must take care of her. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. We must take care of her. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your mother. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your mother. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, Mother, we are one with the soul of the earth, Mother Earth. We are one with the soul of the earth, Mother Earth. We are one with the soul of the earth, Mother
Yes. And then breathe.
Thank you so much for being with us, for bringing your physical presence here. Before we break, if you are on kitchen duty help staff, now is your time to quietly slip out and see what else needs to be done out there. And then I want to ask Ian if he would do us the grace of introducing everybody here on stage and just showcasing how much they bring to this event.
All right. All the way in the back, on the drums, Stan Holt. On the guitar, Austin Phillips. Vocals, stage left, Radha Rose. Vocal stage center, Sonali Banerjee. Vocals also, stage center, Amanda Feinstein. singing bowls and chimes and other assorted wonderful sound-making devices, Margot Gomes. J-Rom Lentini. Woo! And David Ault.
And Ian Basio.
And you,
And Ian.
Ian Basio.
Our fearless musical leader.
So again, thank you to all of you who contribute in any way in your service. Service is so huge. A couple of things to note is that we continue to be in such deep gratitude to Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, to Reverend Jean Bell, and to Shannon Pruitt for their graciousness in weaving us into their family, into their programming, just through grace. And the fact that that requires all of the sound technicians, you can see how much is dependent upon sound. And the fact that they too stay an extra time. And now all of the food that you are about to go receive in bounty, all of these things do add up. We love the fact that it is an offering to you, and we welcome all contributions that help us assist paying for the sound people and the food and sharing all of this bounty with these beautiful people here and to SLCA. So you will see various QR codes out there. It's just part of being human. So if you feel so moved and if you were fed, you can feed us back by contributing. And please come and join us downstairs for the beautiful sharing and the communal meal. Any other activities that are going on in the community, you can find them at nandidas.com. And did I forget anything?
That was what I was going to say. Events page is up, and so do please take a look. I know it's hard to remember to click later when we're all out of here, but there are so many beautiful things happening in the community with the offerings. Radha gives lessons. Shonali's got this very cool protest singing group that is just amazing. So if you're singing Resistance, ATL, Stan does stuff in the community, get on his list. So please support each other and let us know what you're doing. If you want to list your event or offering, we are glad to put that up on our webpage and then try to bring people to that.
So stand together, everybody. Stretch your legs. Let's stand up and shake it out. And Ian, got any parting, little strumming, something? How about you, Stan? Can you drum us out? All right. See you downstairs.